So, first of all, I just want to start off with to all my new subscribers, thank you. Because let me tell you, this journey is so wild. I honestly never saw it coming. And then, sometimes you have those friends that's like, girl, you should do and yeah, I had all that happening, but never in a million years did I think the Lord was going to choose me and say, hey, I need you to go ahead and rethink what you told me when you graduated esthetician school, that drive home when you said, whatever you want me to do, whatever platform you want me to take on, whatever. You remember that, daughter? And I had to be like, yeah, I kind of remember what you're talking about. And, I didn't realize that I was going to take on such a dope experience. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. This little journey gets a little tough sometimes because when you look at your subscribers and you look at like everything as a whole, you're just like, is it going to grow? Lord, you told me you were never going to shame me. You said this, you said that, and all your promises are always golden. They never come back void. So what am I even tripping over? I just got to continue to keep on pushing, keep on going. So to my new subscribers, to all of you, I thank you so very, very much for hitting that like button. I thank those that hit the like button. I thank those that even just take the time to watch my videos. If it resonates, if it doesn't, thank you anyway for just coming by. And for my new subscribers, thank you so much for tuning in with Suki Rochelle. Yo, it is nothing but love. I really appreciate it. So today, yesterday I did a podcast interview with a very, 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 very dope individual. She is well known on YouTube, and it's funny because the Lord sets things up in such a wild kind of way, because during my own personal journey, I was watching her, like during my own personal journey, I'm like, man, Lord, what are you trying to tell me during my time of fasting, during my time of praying? Sometimes he'll be like, just hit YouTube real quick. And then there'll be something there for me to have seen. And she is one of the young ladies that has always came through on a word, and sometimes they resonate and sometimes they don't, but the ones that always did, I took on, and I was just like, okay, God, this is what it is. So I just want to talk to you guys today about something that I talked to her about yesterday during the podcast, but I want to go a little bit further into it. I don't really have a Bible verse today. We just chopping it up today. Today's a little chop up day. Let's just talk about how I got from here to there. Let's just talk about how I went from just being an esthetician and doing my mundane day-to-day lifestyle, then wait, I guess interrupted. God's like, I have something else for you. Let's talk about it today. Let's talk about how my last 6 months has been, my overall 2020. What has 2020 looked like? I'm sorry, why am I talking about 2020? Y'all help me, Jesus. What has my overall 2022 look like? I think I said 2020 because a lot of my beginnings started exactly there. But it took time, it took effort, it took work to get exactly where I'm at today. And not saying that I'm like this overall, oh my God, everything's perfect, because everything is not perfect, but everything is this. So, overall, my 2020 had a lot to do with my 2022, right? So this transition has been amazingly, it's been amazing, but it's been crazy all at the same time, right? So y'all, if y'all willing to listen, just get comfortable. Let's chop it up, all right? So nothing I'm saying is going to be sugar-coated, dipped in cute chocolate. I'm going to be point blank, period, honest with where I was in my life, there's no hiding anything, right? Like, what's the point of hiding anything? It's better to just be transparent and let you all know why I had to change. It had come to a point in my life where For a long time, I dated so many guys, it was just like, you need that band-aid of approval from somebody, that sense of love, that sense of, I just want to be attached to something. I think I just now understood what singleness was, So I ain't gonna lie to you. Being single has been like this breath of fresh air. That I am just like, give me all of it, because I had already experienced so much of me trying to be something for somebody else, but this time I was being something for myself. So it was like, wait, this is amazing. This feeling of peace, this feeling of joy, this feeling that I can't do by myself feels wonderful, and the Lord gave it all to me. So needless to say, I dated someone for 5 years. I had already been through this like dating whirlwind before this person, right? Because I have a son. I did that out of order. I was already experiencing what it feels like to not do things in order. God created two people to be in the household, to have kids intentionally. He made that a rule, a plan of order for a reason. But for us to have kids outside of marriage, it is what it is. Now that we have them, they're a blessing. Let's just be honest. They're still a blessing however they come. It's just that we have to understand that because we do things out of order, sometimes our life gets a little bit, it gets a little bit shaky sometimes, right? So needless to say, before I had got into this 5-year relationship, I had been through a whole lot of battles prior to it, right? So in this last relationship, my last band-aid, that was the band-aid before the band-aid before the other band-aid, right? But this 5-year relationship that I was in really changed the game for me, because I had already experienced so much prior to it, and then you get into this and you're just thinking, okay, this gotta be that one, because I'm tired. I'm tired. Y'all done heard me say I'm tired. Like, not that I'm tired, but I'm tired. Like, for real. So it had gotten to that point. Like, I'm tired. So I'm ready to, hopefully this person is that person. You know what I'm saying? Maybe. But I met this person, and at that time he was just wonderful. Everything was great, and I'm not here to bash. I'm here to just give you the experience of what it really is. You know what I'm saying? So the person was great for a while, and then there's when you throw in lies, deceit, deception, hurt, pain, anger, frustration, people putting their hands on people, yelling, screaming, all these things that make the bowl of toxicity that it becomes over the years, it becomes this thing where, why am I doing this? Because this is not what I really want. And I'm living one foot in the world, one foot in the church, and I'm like, okay, I can go to church, but I can still go home and I can do this and that. And I was having sex still. I was doing, I was drinking, I was smoking, I was doing all these things that said, okay, how are you you can't do both. You're either going to live for God or you're going to not live for God. And that's why this is entitled, I Had to Die to Live. Because in order for me to have come to the point that I'm at right now, I had to literally die. Okay? I had to die to live. All right. So we're going to jump more into why it's titled, I Had to Die to Live, a little bit further down. Okay. So needless to say, I'm dating this person where, I don't care how you put it, but when your habits become your partner's habits, and your partner's habits become your habits, right? So I don't care whatever habits they have, eventually they're gonna rub off. on you in some type of way, right? Whether if you drink, because in my case, I drunk, but my partner did not. But even though he did it, he would still help my habit. He would buy for my habit. You know what I'm saying? So it still wasn't helping me any, right? So however that looks for any of us, you know, it's still not helping the habit. Our habits become each other's habits, okay? So I'm living this life and I'm partying, I'm drinking, I'm smoking weed, blunt after blunt after blunt after blunt. And I'm thinking, this can't be it, you know? Like, this can't be it. But while you're doing it, you're having so much fun. You know, the enemy just has you blinded with this deception of this lifestyle might be hectic, but it's fun. You know, it's this adrenaline rush that makes you want to continue to live in this manner. You're just like, but in my mind, raised the church girl, you know, raised as the church girl. I was in Sunday school. If you was living under my grandfather's roof, because my grandfather raised me, my grandparents did. So if you lived under this roof, because I'm back at home right now visiting for the holidays. So if you're living under this here roof, baby, you're going to church. I don't care what day you're going, because you live under this roof. There's no stopping it, okay? So I lived under a roof that I was always going to church. I was the Sunday school teacher for kids at one point. I was in the choir. Then I grow up, and then I'm living. You know, I go to church eventually again, and then I start living. And then living becomes toxic, because you start getting these partners, and everybody has potential, you know, all of us have potential, but is that potential leading that person in the right way towards Christ, or is it going away from Christ, right? So in my circumstances, it was leading me away from Christ, because at one point I started going back to church while I was dating this individual. And I remember distinctly, I would be laid up in the bed and I would know what time church starts. And I got my alarm's going off for church, and I get like, okay, maybe I'm gonna get ready. But I'm looking at him, he's laid over there, and I'm like, man, but I just wanna. And, you know, at first it was like, I would just leave him. I would leave him and I would go. I would still go to church. But then it started becoming a pattern of, you know what, I'm going to just stay home today. You know, it's okay. I'm good. And then it started becoming something where I just never did anymore. I just stopped going. And it's so crazy how we can give up on the Lord, but he never gives up on us, right? He never, ever gives up on us. But we are so quick to say, okay, this circumstance, this is happening, so I don't have to go to church today. I don't have to do this today. And that's a lie, because, you know, just because what you're doing with someone else does not have to be who you are. But birds of a feather. It's just like that old saying, like, birds of a feather flock together, right? It's that circumstance. So, needless to say, stop going to church a little bit. Fast forward, we done been together X amount of years. It's been at least 5 years. We dated for 5 years. So I stopped going to church within that 5 years. I stopped praying like I used to, just doing the things that I was used to doing. I kind of like abruptly just stopped, and it started fading away. But I knew in a time of need, you gonna seek the Lord. Like, I hated that, because I always felt this urge that I'm supposed to be over here with the Lord, but I'm still doing this. You know, I always felt that tug in my spirit, that you're making some bad decisions. My discernment was there, but I didn't know to call it discernment. You know, I was just living, and here you are living, but I was living in a whirlwind of living to die, right? Because all my choices were against what God has created me to do. All my choices were sending me to a place of you're living to die instead of living to live, because the Lord gives us these choices, right? And then we decide whether or not we're going to live for him or we're going to live for the world. And my sins were slowly going to, find me. God, he might overlook some things, but it is not forgotten that you're over there doing this, and the third, and you're wondering why your life is going to hell in a handbasket. You wondering why your finances is jacked up. You wondering why you dealing with the men or the women that you're dealing with. You wondering why you in certain circumstances, but the reason why you're in certain circumstances is the very reason. The things that you're doing is exactly why you're there, right? And you don't really realize that until you get to that part of your life where you're tired, so tired that you just like, I give up. So my sister, she would call me sometimes and she would always have a word for me. My sister prophesies a lot. And she'll have a word for me and she'll be like, Koya, that's my original nickname, y'all. If you know me, you know me. And if you know Koya, you know me. So she'll hit me up and she'll be like, Koya, you gotta stop. You gotta stop. But I never listened to her. But that year, was it last year? 2020. I want to say it was 2020. No. 2020 or 2021. I was in the car accident that I got into. And we're going to talk about my car accident. But needless to say, that year really changed the game for me, because I was coming into a place where 2020, I was coming into this thought of, I need the Lord. I don't really want to do this without the Lord anymore, right? I was in rocky places with the now ex. I was in a rocky place with him. I didn't really even want that relationship anymore. Everything was starting to feel like, why am I living like this? This is beneath what God has for me. Not looking like I got my nose up in the air, but more so just knowing in my heart and my spirit that God has something better for me. So why am I doing this? Why am I living out of order? Why am I so stuck? Right? Because we've been in relationships where we've been in them, but you like, I know I ain't supposed to be here. But you feel so stuck. You feel so comfortable in where you're at. And you just, over the years, you done fell in love with this person. But is it love? Is that the love that God has for you? Because I feel like you can have a false, love versus the love that God has created. Love is kind, love is patience, meaning your partner ain't gonna smack you upside the head when you're talking. That's not funny, because I've been there. So I'm just saying, like, it's just not what the Lord has for you, right? That's basically what I'm saying. So 2020, and I'm thinking, this ain't it no more, but I didn't really know how to let go of things. It's towards the end of the year. It's like 2020, but I want to say November, December-ish, and I'm at my wit's end with my relationship, how things are going in my life, and I'm just like, I don't want to do this no more. So at that point, before I got to that breaking point, I had been feeling for like 4 months straight. I had been feeling death literally walking with me. I would see visions of myself in car accidents. I would just see that same thing all the time. But it was always when I was with my boyfriend then. When I was with him, when we was about to walk out the door, I would grab my keys, and as soon as we would walk out the door, halfway, midway, whatever, on the way, however it would happen, I would see a vision of myself in a car accident. I would just see flashes of things showing me, you playing with fire. You know, I've let you go this long, but you playing with fire. This relationship is killing you. You don't even realize that this relationship may be your true downfall. And this relationship really, really, really set the tone for a lot of things, you know, because there was so much anger. There was so much pressure. I always say that was my pressure cooker relationship. I always felt like I was in a pressure cooker in that relationship, because if I didn't do things at a certain time what this man wanted it done, or if it didn't happen fast enough, I was always driving because he didn't have a car. Okay, so I was always driving to him, and if I wasn't quick enough, it was just like, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. And you know, when you're working on your own time, but then it becomes that person's time and your belongings, your vehicle, I don't know. I always felt rushed. I always felt like under attack, you know, pressure. It was so much pressure. And I always felt it, you know, because I was like a Uber, but not paid. And at the same time, a very overly worked Uber that was just always under pressure, right? So, needless to say, I'm in this relationship and it's going south very fast. And I'm just at the point where I'm like, I'm good. You know, I started feeling like I don't want to do this anymore. But at the same time, I didn't know how to leave it behind. So for 4 months straight, I'm feeling death, just darkness. I started feeling like I was going to see my son grow up. I started feeling like my child was going to lose me. I literally started feeling these pains, this urgency in my soul that I was just going to pass away. Okay? So, come to find out, one day I am laid up and my sister calls me, and she sounds like there is a fire. Okay, she's like, Koya, you know, I was seeking the Lord and you don't have no more time. And when she said, I don't have any more time, you know, when something really resonates with you, it resonated with my heart and my spirit so heavy, because I knew exactly what she was talking about. I knew exactly what she was talking about. I knew. So if y'all really want to know how that conversation went and everything that had to go into that die to live, make sure you stay tuned, okay? Because there's a part 2, all right? I don't want to drag this out too long, but I do want you to come back and get part 2 of why I had to die to live, okay? Because ladies, gentlemen, it's hard, you know? Life gets hard, life gets tough. But I don't want anyone to feel so defeated that they feel like there's no way out. Sometimes you do have to die to live. All right, y'all. It's been real. I hope y'all come back and listen to the part 2 of why I had to die to live. Like, subscribe, follow, hit the jingling bell, okay? Because listen, y'all can come back anytime. I'm going to be here because all 2023 is going to be pressure. The Lord's like, you got to hit this ground running. So we got to keep it going. Just stay tuned, okay? And part 2 is on the way. All right, y'all. Peace.